Hey traders, I'm going to be just doing a bit of a recap on what actually happened last week in the markets. Where are we right now? And what's likely to happen moving forward. We're looking at all the indices, mining stocks, metals. We'll be looking at some of the stocks as well too, big stocks, Apple, Facebook and all that sort of stuff. So got a really good video for you today. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So let's get straight into it, guys. If you enjoy these videos, put in the word sexy as hell. There we go. Sexy as hell. This guy, and you too, right? I'm pretty sure you're pretty sexy as well too, right? We're all sexy around here. Big sexy. That's right. Actually, put in sexy, big sexy. There's the word. Put in the word sexy, big sexy. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Click the like button, bell buttons, all that sort of stuff. And guys, go grab that free trading course. It's about, it's there to help you have that breakthrough. Okay, it's a full complete trading course, trading system strategies, and all that sort of stuff. Moving on now through to the indices first. And then I'm going to get into the one market that I'm really excited about. I can't wait to share that with you. Now, the first thing that's happening with the Dow Jones is that we're still just in this no man's land. And you'll notice what's happening right now with the Fed, the government, stimulus packages. Is it going to pass? Is it not going to pass? What's happening? Where are we going? What's going to happen here? It looks like it's going to pass the stimulus package, and then it doesn't, and then we need it, and then we don't, and then we're going to, and then we're not. We need it, but we're not. You'll notice all that sort of stuff is happening right now as the markets are doing this right now. So the market is not really doing much. Now, the thing is as they continue to not pass the stimulus package, we're probably likely to get this continued sideways phase. Well, I believe we're likely to get something like that anyway, leading up into the election, or either we're likely to get a bit of at least a bit of a pullback. Now, I don't believe a crash is going to happen in the markets. People say, "Oh, this is the top in the markets, and the market is going to crash," and we're going with guys. We're not. This here was a panic because of the virus situation. All right, we're starting to slowly open things up as we go along. Now, it's not happening as quick as some people would like, but we're slowly seeing that happen. You'll see over the next 6 months or so, things are likely to start to, get better with places opening up and so on and so forth. This year, and then maybe in the next year, we're probably likely to start to see, especially after November. Anyway, so right now, the government is not really doing much when it comes to the stimulus package. So that's the reason why we're getting a lot of jitters here. But if they actually pass a stimulus bill, well, then we're probably likely to start to see this market, especially the Dow Jones or the S&P 500, start to climb up and start to make another move to the upside. But until that happens, we're probably likely to start to continue to see this sideways movement, or either a bit of a drop here. Now, what I'm seeing right now as I trade the futures markets and in intraday charts, I'm noticing that the market is very jittery right now. The slightest little thing that happens in the news and the market tanks. Well, I'm not saying it tanks like massively from 28,000 to 27,000, but on an intraday basis, on a 1 minute charts and 5 minute charts, you saw this last week. It actually happened a few times. It was like literally, it happened twice in about 2 or 3 days that something come out of the market and the market just fell off a cliff and went straight down. And that's actually what happened on the intraday basis. So the markets are very jittery right now. So if something comes out where the market's not going to like it, we will start to see a movement on the downside, especially when there's no Fed starting to, keep putting more money or more currency into the system of what's going to happen through there. So that's a bit of a fundamental what I'm seeing through there. But on a technical basis, guys, what I'm seeing is we're seeing like a bit of a drop down, a bit of a rally up. We had a bit of a down day to yesterday. My little focus for this week moving forward is what actually happens here. Do we actually continue rolling over from here? Because if we do on the Dow Jones, if I go to my weekly charts, well, we're probably likely to continue down to around about, say, the 25,000. Now that won't be a major sort of topping pattern or whatever, because that there is probably just going to be, as you can see, even the 25,000 is just a 38% retracement from this entire move. So even if that happened, that's a nice short-term pullback in the markets, and then maybe we continue up from there. I don't know. So that's what I'm seeing through there on the Dow Jones. Do we actually start to create this lower high? We've got this high through here. Do we continue down? If we do, then we're probably likely to get down to here somewhere. Not straight away. I don't think it's going to happen this week. But if we do start to see a lower high, maybe over the next few weeks, as we in the Rocktober right now, where things are volatility is starting to pick up. That's what I'm seeing through there. And the same for the S&P 500. You can see that I have these three orange, green, and purple, these lines through here. They're long-term. If I bring up my weekly charts, you can see that these long-term trend lines, X marks the spot here. I was expecting the market to reject off that point. That's exactly what it did. And now we're just sort of going into, into sideways action once again, just like I was saying with the Dow Jones. And moving over to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is doing the same sort of thing. Now with the Nasdaq had a move down. And we're not really doing much now. Again, stimulus packages, elections coming up, all that sort of stuff. The market's probably going to be a bit jittery, and also really not much going on, I believe, until probably a month from now. But in the middle of that, we're going to have volatility, right? The market's going to be dropping a lot, going up a lot, dropping a lot. So lots and lots of volatility, which on an intraday basis is a fantastic thing for traders, for volatility. The thing that I do see when it comes down to the Nasdaq is that if we hold here and continue to break, if we break down past this 10,500 level, then we're probably likely to start to see a move down to around about, probably even down to say the 9,500. A 9,500 level looks like it's going to be a bit of a support level there. And once again, guys, that's not a full crash or correction or whatever. It's just a nice little pullback in this big healthy bull market. If you look at the Nasdaq, we've been up for so long. So just a nice little pullback down to 9,500 will give us a nice retracement of this entire just a vertical move up we've seen. And that's what's happening through there. Or once again, so sideways or rather a bit of a pullback here, but until the election and the stimulus packages, you'll be able to see what's going on there. Moving over now through to the GDXJ and all the mining stocks, we can see that we are still creating this situation here where we have these lows, and now we created this lower low. And if this is going to be some sort of lower high, if we start to do that, then we're starting to see this market starting to roll over and go down. And then we're probably likely to start to see a bit of a sell-off in the GDXJ. And oh, by the way, guys, on the short-term basis, if that happens, then that's going to be a major buying opportunity for me, because on the weekly charts here, just a nice little short-term pullback down to around about, the 50 level, or even just below the 50 level. If we can get down even to 45, that's going to be amazing buying opportunity for me personally, because I see this thing being at 180 in 2, 3 years, 4 years time frame. So I'm very, very, very excited about the GDXJ if we do get the pullback. And even if we don't, then that's still okay. I'll still be looking to find a good spot to entering in that on a long-term basis. But on a short-term, looks like we may be rolling over. On the GDX, same sort of thing as well too. Are we starting to roll over here or not? If we do roll over and continue down, we're probably likely to see a move down towards the 32 level. Or either, if we hold, as you can see, let me bring my trend lines back up here. If we hold here and we get back above, say, the 40 level, then we're probably likely to race back up to an all-time new high for the year. Okay, so that's probably above 46. If we do break above 40, we're probably likely to race there. There's a little bit of resistance around 44, but we're probably likely to break and continue running through there, because we are especially in the GDXJ, we are in a big bull market. We're just getting a nice healthy pullback right now. So if we do start to see this little level through here, is either going to be two things, and that's the thing I'm watching for right now. Is it going to be a false breakout? If so, we might see something like this. And if that happens, we're probably, at least on a short-term basis, 44. If it doesn't and we get something like this and we continue down and breaking these lows, then we're probably likely to race all the way down to around about that 30. We're probably around that 30 to 31 level there. Maybe even a bit, maybe 32, somewhere around this vicinity down here. I see that thing dropping if we do that. So is it going to be a false breakout? If so, 44 is the target. If it's not going to be a false breakout and we roll over, then I see this thing rolling over there. So I'm looking to see what actually goes on through there. Also, the SIL, same sort of thing, right? As I was saying before, the GDX. Is it a false breakout? Is it a false breakout or not? We will see. Possibly even this week, we'll start to see what's happening here. Because if we get something like that, then It's above this resistance level. This is now a false breakout, and then 1650 is probably likely to be a short-term target. If we break down like that, it's now creating a lower high situation, and then I see a thing down here around the 1050, maybe even a bit of a flush down past that level for the SILJ. SIL, same sort of thing as well too. Is it gonna be some sort of false breakout? If we do get back above, say, that 46 level, guys, we're likely to raise to $50 and beyond. And then also moving on now through to gold. Gold is another one too, guys, that we're in this triangle pattern right now. In this big triangle pattern, we've got this resistance coming down. We've got this high, lower high, lower high. We've got this lower low. So we need to be really watching gold and see what sort of pattern it makes, because just like the other indices, is that if we hold here and we drop out of this triangle pattern, something like that, then we're probably likely to race back down to around about the 1700s, like the low 1700s, somewhere around about here, 1700, 1750, somewhere around about there. That's where I believe we're likely to go to. Now, that's actually probably going to be a good thing, guys. I'm massively long-term bullish on gold due to the fact that I see a big inflation going to happen. And, based on that, guys, I did a video yesterday, and if you didn't see it, I talked about life and cycles and all that sort of stuff. And I do believe that, life goes in cycles. So before we had a gold standard for a long time, and then we went off the gold standard for a long time, and now we're possibly likely to go back onto the gold standard now. So it's going to be really interesting to see long term. On a short term basis, guys, that's what I see here. But long term, absolutely long term, I think gold is over the next 3, 4, 5 years, we could see some really, really, really big moves out of gold due to the possible now going back to what was, which was the gold standard, and then also inflation picking up, which is going to force interest rates up and all this sort of stuff. So, but that's long term, guys. Short term, we can get the drops and pullbacks and swings and so on and so forth. So this is for investing purposes, is buy and hold for the next 5, 10 years. Trading purposes, what could happen over the next maybe couple of weeks. So this could that could happen through there, or either we start to get a break back above this resistance level here, which this triangle pattern, which is also a breaking above this resistance, as you can see we're at right now. So it depends on where we break, it depends on where we're likely to go to. Where's it going to break? And so we need to wait and see for that. And then also moving over now through to silver, which same sort of situation I'm getting with gold. We do have a bit of resistance level through there, I would say. So probably somewhere through there, a bit of resistance through there. Are we likely to hold here and just continue up? Or are we likely to see a bit of a pullback and just a short-term bit of a drop down to say around maybe even 19 level? It's very, very hard to say because we've had a lot more of a severe drop down out of silver. So silver is the wildcat out of all of them. But with all that being said, are we likely to roll over, create a lower high? If so, downward movement and so on and so forth. On the other hand, weekly charts on silver, I see silver being at $50 over the next 3-4 years. Whatever happens in the middle of that, I have no idea. So that's my long-term projection when it comes to silver and where I think short-term, who cares, teddy bears, or if you're trading purposes and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys. And just a quick look across the board, say such thing as say Apple as well too. Apple's creating like a bit of a weak sort of bear flag situation through here. We can see we've had this move down, and now we're potentially creating a bear flag. It's not a bear flag yet. We need to see a break out of the bear flag for it to be a bear flag. A lot of the times you'll see this situation where it's like a bear flag situation, and then the market breaks up and then runs to the upside. So it's that same situation where we're waiting for a breakout. Just because it looks like a bear flag doesn't mean it's definitely going to go down. We need to wait for the breakout first. Moving on now, so such thing as say Facebook as well too. Facebook's doing the exact same thing. Is it some sort of bear flag, or are we getting some sort of lower high formation here? Amazon as well too. Amazon's creating a potential lower high situation as well too. Microsoft as well too. We're getting a run up and a run down and a bit of a sideways movement through here. So I'm seeing a lot of these major tech stocks that have been going through a nice move ever since the virus situation back in March. And I'm seeing a potential weakness coming into the markets as well too. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this week's unfold, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't see yesterday's video, guys, then it should be actually on the screen. It says the one there, you know, life is cycles. Or go click on the other video as well too if you want to see some other training from me. Make sure you subscribe, click the bell button, guys, and also grab that free trading course. And I'll speak to you guys real soon.